Tara was dumped by 0 crackheads. Put it on record.
No, I was dumped by 1 crackhead, jalapeno dick.
We're your hosts, Tara, Nora, and Allie, and you're listening to Bad Advice Only.
We're just 3 New York City rats talking about scurrying around the Big Apple. Here, we make the New York City mistakes so you don't have to.
We're begging you. Leave us a review and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We release new episodes every Monday, so stay tuned, rats.
Okay, so today, ladies, we're going to be talking about kind of the opposite of what Allie just talked about last week. So last week, for the listener, we talked about, like, your situationship, or was that 2 episodes ago?
2 episodes ago.
My bad. Okay, so 2 episodes ago, we were talking about Allie ending her situationship, and it made me start thinking about, like, actual relationships and how hard it is to break up when you're in, like, a real full-blown relationship. I know I mentioned that, like, I was in a relationship that was 4 years long. 2 years of it was a huge waste. I should have broken up with him, like, after 2 years.
Huge waste.
Ouch.
Yeah, so sorry.
I hope that someone says that about me.
Can't wait to get into that. Huge waste.
Yeah, but before we start talking about, I kind of came up with the signs of maybe you should leave or maybe you should break up. But before we talk about that, I think Allie had something to share about her dating apps.
The second we got into the studio this morning, Allie just started exploding with random date facts that we did not know. So let's please hear them. Listener, if you hear some whining in the background,
we have a guest.
We have a guest dog with us.
Her name's Peggy.
Peggy is not completely
Her
trained.
Christian name is Peggy Pickles, and she doesn't have a recall.
Is her name really Peggy Pickles? Oh, my God.
I had no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, but she doesn't respond to that either.
All right,
Thank
Allie,
you.
so you were saying about your date?
You guys, I have been really working on the apps. Let me tell you, I have been promoting this podcast like crazy. It's on my Raya.
My God.
Side note, Allie finally got off that
Finally
wait
got
list.
on Raya. 2 years
your
on
wait
that
list.
wait list, bitches. My friend Amanda's been on it for 3 years, the wait list, and she's like, I told my boyfriend I wouldn't get off it until I have a ring on my finger.
Honestly, fair enough. Fair enough.
I love that.
That's what I said. I think you guys would really like her. She's the best. But then, it's on my Bumble. It's on all these things, and it's been such a good talking point of I lightly sprinkle it in after I've started the conversation. I'll be like, oh, well, I'm really busy tomorrow morning because I have to record for my podcast.
Amazing.
And they're always like, well, go on. And I'm like, oh, well, why don't you just listen to it? And then I copy the link from Spotify, and then they won't respond to me for about an hour. And I go, you're listening, aren't you? And then they'll start quoting things from the episodes.
Oh, my God.
So I got 2 new fans last night.
Incredible. Are you telling them to rate 5 stars only?
I am.
Amazing.
But
Listener.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure it's done on the date. So I have a date tonight and I have a date on Friday. And I'm going to make sure that I follow up with them.
And listener, you know you're better than all of these boys Allie's talking to, so you better rate 5 stars. Download and rate.
Exactly.
Or take me out if you're a man. I don't know.
So your date Friday.
Oh, yeah. My date Friday and sorry date for Friday. I'm very excited to see you again.
Again?
Yeah. So I matched with him on one of the apps. And he just goes, he reached out to me and he goes, did you used to live on the Upper East Side way back in the day? And I just was like, is that why you look so familiar? And he was like, yeah. He fully took me out on a date. And then I told him I remembered it.
And you don't?
remember
I
him
keep
at all?
asking him to, like, be like, oh, well, what do you remember? Like, tell me. Like,
And
as
do you know
flirty.
where you went or anything?
He was like, he's a little shady on it, too. He's like, I think I took you
Because this is
to
over
one
a
of 2 places.
decade ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how long ago would this be?
You
I'm
have
trying to
only
think.
you haven't
Years.
lived-
He moved out to Jersey, was in a relationship. I moved out to Jersey in a relationship. Like, we have a lot of things in common. We both stayed in Jersey post-relationship.
Oh,
So
my
we're going to
God.
rekindle our romance
Do you
on Friday.
remember what year you lived on the Upper East Side?
I was up there for a few years.
But like a
no,
decade ago.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
in my young 20s. Like, I definitely probably ghosted this man.
Early 20s.
It's amazing he's not blocked.
Oh, 100. No, I went
So
and
that's a good
unblocked.
sign.
No, I unblocked every contact I had, actually, because I was like, I rematched with 2 separate people that I previously... Guys, this has been a week.
Guys.
And I had
Allie.
to unblock all of my numbers, except for the ones that I know are,
Just
like,
to
my
see.
previous stalker. Just to make sure that
You could
text went
find
through.
it.
Yeah.
The fact that we've lived in New York and been single this long, that we are revisiting and not even remembering. This happens in a Sex and the City episode.
Yep.
But she
Oh,
fucks
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're doing at this point.
And didn't this just happen to you too?
It did. It was really embarrassing. We were matched on an app and we were chatting, and then I gave him my number, and then he reached out to me, and our whole thread came up, and he was someone who I had hooked up with one time ever. He went down on me, and then I abruptly left.
Was it the one you threw up
No.
after?
Was it medical bills?
No. Neither of those. Nope.
Three-peat?
and then he was such a dick. I was like, oh, yeah, my bad. Sorry, I forgot. But I thought you looked familiar. I didn't. And then I was like, I don't think it's a match for me. And then he goes, yeah, no, me neither. Just so you know, not a match. And I'm like, fuck off.
What a tiny penis.
Honestly.
But he wasn't kidding. The way he phrased it, he was like, yeah, I agree. Not a good match. And I'm like, okay. Okay, I said it first.
I love when, again, last week when I was like, oh, Nora does her baby voice and all the men are just reading it as a normal girl talking. We read them being little cuck bitch boys being like, yeah, no, but in their mind they're like, yeah, no, not a match for me either.
Not even that. Physically. I think he literally was physically not a match. And I'm like,
my God.
okay.
Well, clearly it was because you swiped right, baby boy.
Yeah, you didn't swipe on my personality.
You didn't say that when you were going down on this pussy. You seemed to enjoy.
Yeah. Meow, meow, motherfucker.
Anyway.
I love it. Okay, so signs you should leave. I don't know.
So,
You've had to transition that.
So, signs that you hate your boyfriend.
Okay, yeah. So I was thinking about this because I had 2 relationships that lasted longer than they should have. And I think we all have.
I think all relationships half it, and that's what they should last.
Yeah, you're totally right.
That's
so yeah,
the number.
I had 4 years with one, and
Ooh.
the first 2 were fine. The last 2 were
Rocky.
more than rocky.
Can we get a nickname so we know who you're talking
Ohio
about? Okay.
is
Ohio.
one.
We call these the dark days.
More
listener.
Obio. Am I right?
I don't know what that means.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm stupid. No, okay, so I should start with this has nothing to do with my current relationship.
Sure.
There's no breadcrumb for the listener that piece of shit and I are in a rocky place. This is based off of 2 relationships looking back, The Worm and Dark Days, Ohio. Okay, which is really funny because dating The Worm was way darker of days.
That's what I was going to say. The first one
1000%.
was fine in hindsight.
In hindsight, but okay, so in chronological order, listener, I dated Ohio in 2013 to 2015, 16, and then The Worm was 2020. So dark days for everyone. Okay, so looking back, I was looking for signs, and honestly, y'all, no one should exhibit all 3 of these signs in one relationship.
But they did.
But they did. So first one, you've surrendered. You stopped caring. You stop asking them to plan things. You stop asking them to do anything for you.
Expectations are 0.
Non-existent.
Non-existent. They've plummeted, just like my stocks.
I have experienced this.
Yes.
The deadpan.
If you've experienced this, call 1-800.
Suicide hotline.
Deadbeat boyfriend. Yeah, I've experienced this with Basement Boy, I would say. I just had no expectation. Anything he said meant nothing to me because I just assumed all the promises, none of it. I just moved on with my life completely while living with him.
Yeah, I think this is when Nora goes into her hyper independence mode where if she wants something, she wouldn't even ask us for help because she just is so disappointed by a man that she just assumes everyone in her life will disappoint her too.
I don't mean to laugh.
No, my therapist says that all the time.
I feel like with Rave Daddy, I had the opposite, where every day was some sort of new spontaneous plan that lasted until 4 a.m. We'd wake up on a Sunday. Okay, he'd come back from a rave at 9 a.m. He'd sleep for 4 hours. He'd wake up like a golden retriever and be like, "You want to go see a musical?" And they would just book the tickets. And I'm like, The fuck?
You're just like hanging on the roller coaster.
I thought I would make a pulled pork today. Like, I didn't know we were going to the theater.
And you just jump on the plan.
We just get
I mean,
we just
meanwhile,
go.
See,
but then he'd get overstimulated and typically have like a panic attack from, the night before
he might have
drugs.
been like
1,000%.
manic or something in hindsight.
He might have been a little manic.
A lot of things. We'll go on. I'm sure we'll get there.
So yeah, I don't think I've seen Allie in a surrender
That's what I was
mentality.
gonna say. She did not
She goes
surrender.
the opposite, which I would call delusional. And like, that's not just you, Allie. That's a lot of women in relationships.
I think it's kind of like an anxious attachment style, which is fine. Lots of people have it, and I have it sometimes. I'm not coming for you. But like when you sense an ending, you become more invested and more attached.
yeah.
Okay.
She's like, feedback received.
It's funny because yet again, Allie's receiving feedback that she did not ask for.
No, it's good. I'm used
But
to
these
it.
like impromptu therapy sessions is not Allie's jam.
Yeah. No, I canceled Stephanie, my therapist, for a reason.
And she
You're
takes it like
fired.
a champ, though. She's great at
No,
feedback.
like I receive it, I absorb it, and then I circle back.
Yeah.
But I just talked about Nora's hyper independence too, just so you
But
know.
that's avoidance. That's a different
Yeah, it is
attachment
really bad.
style.
I
Like,
agree.
That's, bad
That's
too.
why we would never work in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
be
yeah.
so clingy.
Yeah. And you would be like, get the fuck away from me. And I would love that toxicity. I'd be like, okay.
We are a toxic relationship waiting to happen.
No,
I
we
hope we
are.
never swing that way.
Oh my god. All right, let's move on to number 2 before these two start dating on live on the podcast.
Yeah, we're actually kindling a romance here.
Like, you're so far away.
This-
I just want to touch your hand.
This is so uncomfortable for me.
Do you want in?
Palpable.
You and I would be a great couple, actually.
The silence is deafening.
Okay, Dara's not in it with me. So back to you, Nora.
See that anxious attachment? She's like, you'd like me, right? Right?
We would be great together.
Right? Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2, you have secondhand embarrassment.
Oh.
That is so painfully real.
I knew that I would get a reaction out of y'all from at least one of the 3. And
Oh,
I
God.
was
No, that
dying.
one hits.
Do you
really
have an
excited.
example that you wanted to share? Because I've got 100. Like, and my skin's
So
crawling.
many. But okay. So I'll use the worm as an example. And again, listener, dark days.
He is one to be embarrassed of. I've only seen photos,
If
listener.
you could see photos of him, he was. You remember the caveman guy for like CarMax? Or
He does look like
He looks like a
that.
crackhead.
He kind
He
of looks
was
like
a
a
crackhead.
sandworm, like in Dune or
Oh, yeah, he
Tremors.
was a sandworm in Dune.
for the record, listener, he was a crackhead.
He was. He absolutely
Like
was.
we're saying it.
This
but
guy
we're
is
not.
dead on the side of a mountain because he did acid and then got buried in an
Yeah.
avalanche.
We're
I believe
literally,
that.
we're literally not disparaging crackheads because he was a crackhead.
Yeah.
We're very open-minded in this group.
So just to give the listener an idea of him, if you two haven't already painted a vivid picture, before we met, and again, please give me grace, listener, dark days. Before we met, he told me his favorite thing to do on his birthday, he used to be a ski bum, was go skiing, do a fuckload of cocaine, fire his gun,
Oh my god.
and then ski down the mountain.
Why fire the gun? Was he hunting?
No, he was like,
Listener, I think this is an important time to give a PSA. Do not do cocaine and operate firearms.
or
Not even skiing?
Or ski.
Or ski. Like, your
Or
heart's
ski.
gonna explode.
I don't know, you guys. Like, after Austria, I had some fun being pretty fucked up on that mountain.
Dude, being drunk skiing, A-okay, listener.
Bad advice
Cocaine?
only.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So how did he embarrass you other
So-
than that?
He obviously became my dealer in some sense.
I should have stopped it. I saw all the signs.
I know Allie was the most concerned, and I could not fathom why.
I was
You
like-
were like, what's wrong with that?
I'm like, are you good? She came over to my house one day and literally popped a Molly on a Monday in
Yeah.
her water bottle.
Yeah, I
And
threw up everywhere.
I was just like, girl, you're going to brunch. Like, I don't know. No one else is
Just
doing
you
this.
two?
and should have PS
It
AJ.
was
Like,
just
not
three
the
of us.
scene.
We didn't tell AJ, so he was
Thank
like really
God.
weirded out because Tara kept petting people and was like very
Did
lovey-dovey.
he ever learn?
No, you do know now.
We got wasted though, so he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't need to know.
That's called friendship.
But I didn't say anything to you. I should have.
So yeah, anyways, this guy, he starts lying a lot in the relationship. He's a loser. He's an absolute loser if you haven't gathered that much. And I had friends in town, and this is right after COVID, so we're finally getting to go out. And I was so excited. They were like coming in from the UK. And so I asked him if he could get us some good tasties, and we were going to go to a rave and then like have a little bit of a house party. And I realized at that moment I would have to figure out how not to invite him to these things whilst getting drugs from him. A little complicado, y'all. Little complicado. So I'm telling him, oh, well, I just have a few friends in town. No one you need to meet. No one important in my life, but I do want to show them a really good time.
You're like, but I will need drugs.
So I'm going to need your hookup, but you can't come.
What specifically embarrassed you about him meeting a random friend?
So my friends from the UK are extremely attractive. And
he's ugly. That's what you're saying.
Ugly. From a vanity perspective, he was ugly, and I didn't want my attractive friends to meet him.
All your boyfriends are ugly, to be fair, except piece of shit who's a handsome man.
He's a handsome man.
He's a handsome man,
but
y'all.
Typically, she goes for some real uggos. So I'm surprised this is like new for you, or was new for you.
You were just like so embarrassed by his pure ugliness.
Well, he also looked like a bit unclean.
Yeah, he did. He looked unhoused.
Yeah. He looked awful.
Not
and
homeless,
he dressed.
unhoused.
Yeah, he looked like an unhoused.
He dressed terribly. He was really weird. I just knew he would say something that would embarrass me.
That's fair.
Allie, on the train of feedback and therapy sessions.
Oh, okay.
Here it comes.
Were you ever embarrassed of Rave Daddy?
Yes, all the time. Are you kidding me? 100%.
Jesus Christ. Peggy Pretzels.
Shut the fuck
What's its name again? Peggy.
Ugh, no.
Does she need to pee? Like, is she communicating?
What are you trying to tell us?
No.
So yeah, you were embarrassed of Rave Daddy?
I was embarrassed of Rave Daddy all the time.
Of a,
yes, 100%. I can think of an example right off the top of my head.
Let's hear it.
Every time we'd get into an Uber and he'd have like a glass of alcohol.
God.
Oh, you got Bluetooth, man? Can I hook up the Bluetooth? Oh, you got USB? I want to play my music. Turn it up.
Oh my God.
All fucking EDM all the time. And I'd be like,
so
literally stop.
embarrassing.
Or anytime we'd fight in public, or anytime he would speak in public. I'd also get embarrassed like when he'd hang out with all of us. Like he would just sit in the corner like a scolded dog.
Were you embarrassed when, because as you can tell, we're a pretty chill group, and then he would come into our like just sitting around a living room getting high playing games, and he would be like, I got this like bottle service at this club, and these 22-year-olds were all over me.
Yeah. Or he'd
that
be
gave
like,
me
oh, we spent
embarrassment.
$70,000 at Ultra this weekend.
I'm just
Like,
gonna,
sick. This is the wrong group to do
Wrong
that.
crowd.
And here's my opportunity to call his bitch ass out because this has been driving me crazy for years.
Right.
He would brag about spending this money and be like, oh yeah, I spent $10K on a table and bottle service. And then it would come out that he was like taking his clients out. So guess what, buddy? You weren't spending your own money.
Yeah.
You're bragging about spending your corporate office money. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Guys,
Like,
I could go on and on.
Like, what? I don't understand the, like, because I understand why men want to, like, flaunt their money and, like, brag about it by buying, shit for women. But if you're using someone else's money, you're kind of just a bum.
You're kind of just a loser.
Yeah.
My example that comes to mind, not about Rave Daddy, we'll move on, sorry, Allie, is the sailboat guy I dated. I really got bad secondhand embarrassment from him.
Yeah.
Because of his Instagram.
Because of
His Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
was
blocked
just
him.
talking about this. His Instagram is so embarrassing, guys.
Why?
It's like, I mean, to be fair, he's gorgeous, okay? He's smoking
he's
hot.
the hottest man on earth.
He's the hottest man on earth. That being said, he posted legit thirst traps on Instagram, like abs out, like working out, like flexing. And it embarrassed me so much. Like, it was so cringy.
Not when he was like, I love the Jewish people to me because they're exclusive and hard to get into since you have to take a test, I think were his exact words.
No, that was embarrassing too. There's so many things. I mean, one time we brought like our gay friends out on his sailboat and he was like, absolutely schmammered, like Patrick wasted.
Can you drive a boat that drunk?
He shouldn't have. And our friends, everyone was just kind of chilling. Like, we were drinking a little, but he was hammered. And he was driving this boat like a sociopath. Our friends were genuinely afraid. They were like fearing for their lives. And I was like, yeah, no, he's okay. He does this all the time.
It's normal.
I'm just giggling over here thinking about the time that he lit his dresser on fire while he was fucking you.
My God.
Well, that's not embarrassing. That's impressive.
I forgot about that. We actually weren't fucking. He was going down on me, which is even better. But yeah, he had a candle burning and it lit his dresser on fire. And then it just started like crackling and I smelled smoke. And I was like, oh my God. But he was just very dedicated to
How do you put it out?
you know, it's really weird. He just ran up to it and he went like he blew, listener, like a birthday candle, and somehow it went out. But it was like a pretty big flame.
It was
like,
a decent flame.
Like it ruined his dresser.
That's very funny.
Don't worry, it was his ex-wife's dresser.
It was. Anyway, what's the third one?
Well, before we get
done?
on to the third, I want to call out the difference between like secondhand embarrassment or just embarrassment and cringe. You know what? Sometimes we get cringed out, but like pure embarrassment is like you can get over a cringy thing. Like,
for sure.
We
Cringe
all make
can
mistakes.
be endearing. Cringe and even ick, I will say, I'm not really pro the whole ick culture.
Yeah, me neither.
Cringe and ick can be endearing. If it's your person, it's like funny.
It's endearing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Embarrassment's different.
Yeah, no, I want to, like, I know there's been times where, like, with, like, Ohio, for example, I loved bringing him out. He was so personable, so friendly, so sweet, and I loved my friends meeting him. And then something changed, and that's on me. I changed. I did not care for this person anymore. I'd surrendered, step one. Now two, I'm embarrassed. And anything he said in public, I was ashamed. I was like, I cannot let this man meet one more person in my life.
I thought he was funny. He was goofy.
Did you stop taking your birth control at all during that time period?
No, we were sexless for like a year.
Oh, that's
Wait,
not
you
why
were
I asked.
on birth control?
Yeah.
I asked it because a lot of people
Because of my
say when you
depression.
stop birth control,
Yes.
your like response to whoever you're with changes.
1,000%. I think that is
There's
what ruined my
data.
first relationship.
Yeah.
Like, because I had stopped taking birth control. And it's like changes your perception of people.
Yeah,
I don't know,
your
of men.
attraction level
Yeah.
changes. Yeah, big time. No, I mean, I was young. I think that's what was a big deal. And I was also so isolated. So for the listener, I met this person when I went to my friend's university graduation in another state, Ohio. And I moved for him then shortly after. I was 22, 23.
Crazy
and I had
decision.
no friends. He was 30. He had a huge group of friends. He'd never left his fucking hometown. So he was friends with his kindergarten classmates, you know?
I hope they judged him for dating a 22-year-old.
Looking back now, I'm like, why did you try this?
That's very weird to have a
back now-
22-year-old
from
move
another
across
state.
the country
Yeah.
to come be with a 30-year-old
I
creepy.
think it's crazier that you were like so willing to go to Ohio.
No,
like thinking
same.
about you now, being like, I'll die in your fucking 2-bedroom East Village apartment.
I know.
To be like, here I go.
I think, okay,
That's
so
crazy.
again, I was really young and dumb. And I just remember so badly wanting to get out of Texas.
Yeah.
That was my out.
to Ohio.
And in my head, my 22-year-old
Yeah.
brain was like, Ohio's gotta be
It's
better
just
than
so
Texas.
funny, like how different it can be growing up in Texas versus Connecticut. For me, I was always like, city game over. Like I knew that's where I'd
Like,
go
knew you'd
after
end up-
college.
Yeah, but
I hear
that's-
that a
it's so
lot from East
close.
Coast people.
Yeah, it's like you're going to end up
Whereas
in a big city.
for us, Texas, I don't know anyone who ended up here except
Yeah.
Tara. Like me and
Yeah.
Tara, I don't know anyone else from Texas.
Yeah.
Or like my home life. Fuck them.
I don't know anyone that left Texas.
Yeah, I like really don't either.
Exactly. So, yeah, young and dumb, thought Ohio was like my escape. I was wrong, listener. Okay.
What's the third?
Are you all ready for number 3?
I don't know.
I hope it's a banger.
I'm about to wreck you, bitches.
Oh, God.
You are their puppet master.
Allie's so lost.
I see a loading sign over your head right
Go
now.
on.
Okay. This is when you're no longer their partner. You're not even their house cleaner or their chef, their personal anything. You are pulling every fucking string to make this man literally move.
Yes.
have y'all ever been a puppet master in a relationship?
You know I fucking have.
Yeah, Allie definitely was a puppet master to Rave Daddy, I would say. Like, you were also a caretaker, but you were also, like, trying to get him to move, I would say.
Like, yeah, you couldn't get him off the couch. Like, you, and, like, you would literally try everything.
To be like, change, fix this, I know what's wrong with you.
Yeah. Were you ever a puppet master, Nora?
No, I don't think that's really my, like, go-to. I'm much more likely to turn super hyper avoidant and independent and just be like, I'm living my life separate from you and you're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I break up.
Well, like you'll give feedback, but you'll be direct and be like, this is what's wrong with you. Like, I'm going to do my own thing until you figure out your shit.
Like, I mean, I could give a million. We should do a whole episode on Basement Boy, but, like, that's what it was. Like, I just separated my life from him, and I was like, I'm going to do the things I want to do, and, like, you can catch up or not.
Yeah.
So
and,
Tara
like,
kind of does something very different.
I'm a puppet master, and I never ever want to do this again. If I ever see signs of me becoming that puppet master, I gotta hit the eject button, and I'm hoping you two will see it too and tell me get the fuck out. Because it's not fair for anyone. It's not fun. It's not a partnership. I have the most dramatic example of me being a puppet master. So again, I lived through all three of these states and signs in both relationships with my two boyfriends we've been talking about, but actually, they're both fucked up. Okay, so number one, Ohio, my puppet mastering effect. I convinced him, we were living in an apartment together. He owned a house on the other side of town that he was renting it out. I knew that if I broke up with him, he would be shattered. And I knew that if I got him to move back into his house, he would handle the breakup better because he wouldn't feel so, like, weird and isolated in our apartment. So we moved into his house, me full well knowing that I was breaking up with him.
Okay.
Shh. Peggy pretzels.
No, come here.
I convinced him that it would be better for us to live over on his side of town, save money because his mortgage was cheaper. All these things convinced him that we were going to be doing these things together. We were going to start saving for our own house and vacations and things like that. Moved him in. Waited 3 months, broke up with him.
Kind of evil.
Puppet mastering is evil.
But it's with good intentions, okay?
It really was.
You wanted to help him through the breakup.
And I would never do this again, but, like, I didn't have the, like, emotional intelligence that I have now to just communicate with him my issues.
I just say I've never in my life heard of a man trying to soften a breakup, okay?
Yeah, I did a lot, guys.
Like,
No, I
fucking
commend you.
Rave Daddy just cheated, kicks you out of his house? Is that a soft breakup?
He didn't offer to pay for my move.
Well, you
I'm
refused.
just kidding.
And you should have taken
And you
his
should have
money.
taken it.
No, I have my own fucking money. That when my pride kicks in the wrong time.
Fucking good with that pride. Good. What else did you puppeteer?
Okay.
Is that the
I feel
word?
like you puppeteered old balls, and I don't know why we're not talking about it.
Well, he wouldn't follow the strings, so, like, that puppet fought back.
He was a bad puppet.
He was a terrible puppet.
That
I couldn't pull the
also
string.
a crackhead.
Also a crackhead. Do we see a theme here, listener?
2 of 4 crackhead.
2 of 4 have. I mean, I think it's like 3 of 4 have done some, like, serious hard drugs. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even talking cocaine, listener.
I can't laugh. I can't laugh. Rave daddies. It's in the name.
Okay, so with the worm, this happened with the worm and Ohio. This is when I started to surrender and just stop caring because I, as their puppet master, helped them get so far ahead in their goddamn careers, and I received 0 benefits from it. So with the worm, he was living in New York City. He made $150. He worked in sales, and I convinced him to look around. He'd been in his company for a while. I coached him. I helped him find a job to interview at. I got him all prepped and ready. I helped him with his resume. His offer was $300K. That man, I just got him double his fucking salary. What does he do?
Breaks up with you.
No, I dumped his ass. Here's my pride. No, I broke up with the crackhead. No. I got
Tara was dumped by 0 crackheads. Put it on record.
No, I was dumped by 1 crackhead jalapeno dick. Jalapeno dick.
I always
definitely.
forget about jalapeno dick.
Yeah.
Wait, what did he do after he got the $300,000
So-
offer?
He then is panicked because he's like, but I love my job. And I'm like,
my God.
What?
right. So I was like, well,
I'd sell my mom for that.
we would sell our mom for a lot less, listener.
Go
She
on.
was no thought behind that. It was so top of
She's
mind.
been thinking about putting her on the
I was
market.
thinking about prices for a while.
So I tell him, you know what? Go to your boss and see if they'll counter. If you got to come up with a quitting number. I coach him through
my God.
everything. Guess what his company does? They fucking match the
Oh
offer.
my God.
man. Is
Go on.
retarded.
I'll allow it.
I just don't understand. Like, how is he in sales but can't negotiate an offer?
Yeah.
I know. So this man is now, I've doubled his income. And I reap no benefits. He doesn't, thank me.
Oh.
He doesn't take me out to dinner
my.
to
You should get a
celebrate.
bonus.
I should have gotten a cut of that.
Okay. I think you send him a Venmo right now,
Right now.
for like a 10% commission bonus plus interest.
Plus interest. It's
Plus
been
interest.
years. Yeah. And then a really similar situation happened with Ohio, where he worked for the university making like $35K. And
A little
I know.
different.
Well, Ohio's cheaper. Ohio's like
It's
$5.
the equivalent.
Yeah.
Total equivalent.
I was making 32
I
at the
mean,
time.
I was shocked that the worm crackhead was making 150.
He's surely lost his job by now.
and make a living.
Turns out you can make a 6-figure income so you can afford more crack. Get them. Crackheads are hustlers of our time.
Dude, all I'm hearing is crackheads unite. Date Tara. She's going to get you like a huge raise.
Okay, there are other examples. So yeah, with Ohio, he was working for a university. He like self-taught him like graphic design and all this great stuff. And I convinced him, I pushed him out the fucking door and made him start his own company basically. In his first year, he made $60K. What do I get? Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I just don't know how you do this when the relationship is, I guess you're trying to not end the relationship but make them worthy.
Like, I need a project,
My feedback is you've come a long way
Thank
from your
you
35K.
so
But
much.
it's funny when I hear you talk about like your own doing, like at work.
Yeah, why
Things
am I
You're
doubling
like,
my
oh,
income?
I'm happy. Like you're never like, let me get to the next.
Yeah, why aren't I trying to
Yeah.
double my income? I just want. Here's the thing. I think secretly I'm that bitch. I want to be a stay-at-home dog mom.
No, she doesn't. No, she fucking doesn't.
Someone else take care of me.
I'll take care of you, baby, if you want to be in a relationship with me.
Stop trying to date me.
Needy.
I'll puppet you, bitch.
So yes, thank you, Allie. I have come a long way. And now that I know my signs that I'm unhappy and I should probably exit, I ask you, listener, do you relate to any of the three? The surrenderer, the secondhand embarrassment, or the puppet master? Maybe our favorite one. All right, rats. Reflect on the three and write in if you think of any other signs that you think we should talk about.
Rats reflect, men repent.
Oh, shit. All right, see you next week.
Bye, rats.
As always, thanks for listening. If you're interested in even more bad advice, scurry on over to Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We're begging you. Download and rate the show and leave us a review. Talk to you next Monday.
Stay tuned, rats.